Hey, I'm Meghann Scully, and this is the Limerick Post Show. Coming up in today's show, the big interview is with Limerick singer-songwriter Jayne Fraser. First up, though, the top stories in Limerick, and the Limerick City and County Council have granted a €4,000 music bursary in memory of Dolores O'Riordan. Next up, Limerick Mental Health Week took place all this week with so many events, and our Cian went out to shine a light on the river to see what was going on. Now to our out and about section. I caught up with Hudson Taylor in Sexton's. There's loads of great spots in Limerick, don't worry. We could spend the whole show just talking about Limerick, but we need to talk about you guys and your music. So you were just telling me earlier off camera that you're living in Brighton, you're living in Dublin. How's it work then? Are you constantly on the phone and WhatsApp voice notes, or are you constantly flying back?
Yeah, we'd be chatting to each other most days. It really depends. Like when we're doing stuff, we kind of it's booked in advance, so we'd both travel and get it done. We rehearsed actually the other day just over WhatsApp voice memos, as he said.
See?
I sang into my phone.
Yeah, we needed to learn a few covers. The radio stations quite like you to play modern covers, so you do your own version. So I put down a piano and I just sent it straight to Alfie on WhatsApp, and I told him, here, just use your phone and record it back. His voice.
I was there singing Katy Perry into my phone. Sent it to Harry. He put it together, and we made it work.
But see, that's it though. There's like modern technology. Yeah. Like if you look at the amount of artists now worldwide who are doing collaborations, but never actually getting studio together. It's bizarre. But it's cool.
It just breaks the back of the work though as well. If you have it kind of pre-done. And when we met up then yesterday or 2 days ago to practice it, it was like we know it. We know it already. Like.
So tell me though, what is next for you? Like I know I've been seeing you on our TV screens loads, and you've done so much throughout the years as someone who was a media student. I remember watching you and kind of always admiring you and everything you do. So
thanks, Meghann.
Yes, what's next?
What's next? I just want to keep going. Really, I'm loving working with Clean Marine and with the whole hormone health, kind of women's health well-being thing. It's become a bit of a passion for me, and it's a real buzz. Peter was only talking to Peter last night when I came off the stage, and he said, for all the years that you did Keen on, what was it called? Keen on Style, I have to think now. My fashion events around the country, and I'd call him afterwards. He said, I'd never known for you to be so buzzed. Do you know what I mean? And like the adrenaline's like, wow. Because it's just, because the women that come up and talk, well, during the thing, but come up and talk afterwards, you really feel like you're helping, and that's lovely to feel that camaraderie with other women. It's really, really important to me. So that's brilliant. Then my own Fashion Relief events, which I started up last year and did one event in Dublin, and we raised 70,000 in a day for the hunger crisis. So I got to go out to Ethiopia and Somalia. I've been going out to the developing world every year for the last 10 years with different charities since I gave up expose and kind of full-time work, even though I probably still am working more or less full time. It's my diary now.
You can pick and choose, which is great.
Yeah, so even though I'm probably working as hard, it doesn't feel like anybody's telling me what to do. So it's kind of nice. It's also a bit scary sometimes because you don't know if that phone will ring next week. But anyway, so far so good. We won't sweat the small stuff. But yeah, Fashion Relief has been amazing. And then this year we decided that we'd go to Cork and Galway, as well as Dublin, and so far we've raised 170,000, which is amazing. And we're hopefully going to do Limerick. That's my next one, especially because you're really into your fashion in Limerick and the accessories and the milliners and all that. So it'll be lovely to do one here for next year. And then, please God, in November, it looks like I might be going to Bangladesh to see where we spend the money that we raised this year because of the situation in Burma and the refugees, and then also the fact that there are quite a lot of sweatshops there and factories where women are treated very badly. And I'd like to do a little bit of a story on that because it'll link up very well with Fashion Relief and the whole sustainable fashion issue.
Thing now.
Yeah. So that's been amazing. And then I'm working with lovely companies and brand ambassador for lots of lovely things. Yeah, the things that I'm working with at the moment, I'm genuinely passionate about, which means a lot to me.
Yeah.
It's lovely to be able to really believe. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the thing about the media business, and like a lot of my friends say to you, you're always doing different things, and I was like, well, that's what I think we're blessed. We're never stuck in one role. It's always so many roles, and then we get then to work with in so many different areas.
Exactly.
And it's just brilliant. I think it's kind of, as you said, every week and every month and every year is completely different. And it's just like the buzz and excitement, and that's great.
And I love, like, I mean, I wrote a book a few years back, and people have said to me, would you ever write another one? No chance. Like, it's so, but people are going, what? And I found the whole writing a book process very lonely.
I've written a book as well, and it's
really, Meghann. And how did you find it?
You have to be. I felt like I was back at studying for my leaving cert.
Oh, me too.
It was like the process was really like intense, and my subject matter is quite heavy. So, but by the time when I initially finished it, I thought, I'll never do that again.
Yeah.
And then my mum has written a few books, and now I'm looking at bringing out
another
book 2.
one. What was book 1 about?
Broken Love: My Journey Through Loss and Grief. So it's a little bit heavy, but personal journey. But but it was just kind of something I wanted to do along. But I remember though at the time the process of putting it together, I was like, I feel like I do my leaving cert again. It was that same feeling, and
I'd say it felt good though for you. Going through something like that to actually kind of dump it and get it down. Yeah, but did that help? Was it therapeutic?
Yeah, it was really good. But then when it came out, then I was like, I've never written a book again. Yeah. And then when I actually had the physical copy first time, I remember thinking, I don't know if I want to actually publish or share this now. But then I did. And now I think a year and a half later, now I'm kind of thinking, do I want to do one again? So I'm in talks again for getting one out for next year. But I know what you mean with there's that real roller coaster.
Yeah. And I'm not used to, being that well behaved and disciplined. You have to have a deadline. I have a deadline, always a daily deadline. And when I worked in the newsroom for 11 years with TV3 as entertainment correspondent, I had a daily deadline. And when I worked in Roadwatch before that, it was the same thing. But to have that kind of 6 months, you have 6 months from your publisher to write the book. I'm so lastminute.com, cramming in the last 3 months and then not being able to leave the desk. Yeah, I just find the whole thing a bit lonely. So for me, working like I am at the moment, kind of doing this road trip, and then also with Fashion Week, I'm out and about, I'm meeting people, do you know what I mean? And that's what I love.
And getting to see the whole countryside as well.
Yeah.
And maybe some next projects for a few DIY projects.
Little renovations. I know the house that I'm in at the moment is my 4th renovation, and I've already spotted another one around the corner. I know, but who knows? Watch this space. I love interiors, and I just love the whole renovation thing and refurbing.
Oh, you'll go home now and you'll be like, so I was driving to the countryside.
Yes, I found us a mill.
Lorraine Keane, it's been an absolute pleasure chatting to you on the Limerick Post Show, and definitely we'll get that fashion event back and we'll chat to you again.
Great, look forward to it. Thanks, Meghann. Thank you.
Show. I'm joined by Niall O'Callaghan, who's the MD of Shannon Heritage, and we're here in King John's Castle. Now, I feel it's awful to say, I've been here for gigs so many times, I've walked around the grounds, but I've actually never been in here underground. Tell me, what exactly is this that's going on?
Yeah, it's that's a common theme that we hear from people, particularly Limerick people, and much like myself, before I started in this role, Meghann, I would have said the same thing, having seen the outside of the walls and the exterior and the courtyard, but never actually experienced the exhibition. So what it is there's 800 years of history in the exhibition underground here. It's a fantastic facility. It gives the whole length and breadth of the history of Limerick, going back to the time of the Vikings and the Normans, coming straight through up to the 20th century. So it's effectively an experience that's very family related, so for kids and for parents alike, they'll all enjoy it. You can dress up, you can have a bit of fun, but you can obviously delve into history a bit more as well if you're that way inclined. So look, it's just a fantastic asset to the city, and what we're trying to do with our new strategy really is to get Limerick people to embrace King John's Castle, and like I said, not just from a concert perspective or from driving past, but actually come inside the castle, not just the courtyard, but this exhibition, which was renovated back in 2015, and really experience what Limerick is all about.
It's phenomenal to think, though, as you say, that people of Limerick and the amount of us that live around the city and haven't come in here but don't even know about the history of the place. Limerick is absolutely steeped in so much history.
Absolutely, yeah. I suppose there's other cities in Ireland who claim longer cultural heritage, but, we all know that Limerick has it. And I suppose having an asset like King John's Castle in the medieval quarter, we're neighbours with St Mary's Cathedral and the Hunt Museum as well. So there's a whole historic quarter here, which, for any family to go and explore is a fantastic asset. So look, we're really proud of the exhibition. And as I said, we're trying to welcome people in the doors. And we've done a lot of activity with the likes of Heritage Week, and Culture Night is coming up. We're launching a new specific King John's Castle membership pass in the next couple of months. So we're trying to do a lot in relation to engage the public and the people of Limerick to actually come and experience it.
What I love as well is that it's interactive. You know, there's sounds going on, there's buttons you can press, there's things you can see. So I think that's something special as well for so many people, and as you said, families as well and young kids.
Yeah, and you know what? It's not just a museum. So it's not, and museums are great, don't get me wrong, but there's a bit of excitement and a bit of a fanfare about the exhibition here. So like you said, there's sounds, there's smells, there's music, there's lighting, there's some very obscure and abstract sculptures inside here in relation to history gone by. So yeah, it's a very exciting, compelling exhibition. Very unlike anything else you can see in Limerick, so something definitely well worth experiencing.
And I know then when you finish through the exhibition, you head into the courtyard and you get to take part in some maybe old school games.
Yeah, so we've got a great team here at King John's Castle, and our animators in the courtyard are absolutely fantastic. And there's archery, there's sword fighting, there's all sorts of games that they take kids through and adults. And obviously then moving from there in the courtyard to the towers of the castle, where you've got the best view of Limerick City effectively and down the Shannon.
Well, there's no denying the view from here is absolutely incredible. I think the way you can see, as you said, all the way down the Shannon, you get to see Thomond Park as well. So it's kind of bringing, I feel like, history and modern all together in one.
Yeah, definitely. And look, that's one of our core principles in Shannon Heritage, is we're trying to, I suppose, showcase the history in the attractions which we operate, but also make them fun and engaging. So it's trying to strike that balance between, you know, our civic responsibility and curatorial side, as well as the fun aspect that we try to bring and invite families in. And obviously through our events program that we have all year round, are particularly facilitative of those types of things that we do.
Do you know what? I cannot wait to go on the tour and learn some more. So next time we talk, you're going to have to quiz me on the history of Limerick and King John's Castle.
Looking forward to it. Thanks, Meghann.
Thanks, Niall. Thank you so much.
Cheers.
We made a vlog on King John's Castle. You can head over to our Facebook page right now to see that. Also, for the interview in full with Lorraine Keane, head over to limerickpost.ie/show. Now, next up, the big interview is with singer-songwriter Jayne Fraser. So we're here in the commercial and I'm joined by singer Jayne Fraser. How are you getting on?
Very good, thank you.
Now, the last time we met, it was in preparation for the Jazz Festival. Tell me, how did that go?
Yeah, it was really great. Now, it was a fantastic festival this year, so there was just so many great artists that came from overseas and local artists as well. We did a gig here on the Sunday and the place was packed with my jazz thing, Eve's Record Box, and we did the Savoy as well on the Thursday night, which was lovely as well. So yeah, it was a nice festival. Got to see a few.
I couldn't actually make it here, but I was seeing the power of social media. I was watching different stories from the commercial, from loads of different people. So, you know, I kind of felt like I was there and I was like, wow, it just looked so much fun.
Yeah, it was. It was every single year. It's just building and like getting better and better. So, yeah, fair play to John Daly and all the crowd.
On Jazz Limerick.
Show. Yeah, they did now.
Now, I have to say it's great, like the amount of musicians in Limerick, but the amount of different genres as well. And of course, you're adding another element to this. Like, we've spoken to rappers, we've had indie, we've had pop, jazz. I mean, a bit of everything. Like, you must think it must be an amazing time to be in Limerick.
Yeah, it really is. Like, I lived away for a long time. So in 2007, I moved to London because at the time in Limerick, like, there was just hardly any original music or anything happening. So, and I really wanted to write and do that kind of stuff. So I left. But once I've come back like 3 years ago now, and the place is just hopping with writers, and we've grown a real confidence, I think. It's become a real confidence in writing your own songs and doing your own thing, and which really wasn't there when I left, like, you know.
And speaking of writing your own songs, you're going to perform a song for us in a little while, but tell me about some of your music and what you've written.
Yeah, so when I was away, I did a degree in songwriting. So during that time, I kind of started learning how to like produce a little bit and kind of messing around with music production software and trying to kind of find my sound. I'd always sang jazz and I'd always sang soul, but I was trying to experiment and break myself out of my comfort zone a bit. So I kind of started writing like unusual pop music and started really getting into that and like using strange sounds and stuff. So yeah, I've written a good few tunes now in that genre. So I write them, I do the demos as best as I can myself, and then I'll send them off over to London. There's a guy over there who taught me in school, and he does the mixes for me and he makes them sound
Brilliant.
Ready for radio, you know. So yeah, I put out my first one there a few weeks ago. My first single under this new kind of project name. So yeah, it's been going well enough. Undefined is the name of the track, and it's had a couple of spins on radio. So you know, onwards and upwards, just keep putting them out and enjoying it as well.
As you said though, it's a great time because people do want original music, like, and people want to hear artists' own songs now. I think everyone's kind of, not that everyone's stepping away from the commercialized stuff, but everyone is loving like going into like the smaller venues and seeing someone who's like written this whole song, produced it all, and I think because there's so much more meaning to it.
Yeah, for sure. It's just interesting, like, to hear, you know, what's coming out of someone's kind of like mind and soul. Like, you know, you really get to know someone when you hear something that they've written, I think. You know.
And speaking there about your genre of music as well, and you said about writing a bit of pop as well, who would be your kind of influences, or what were you listening to growing up?
Well, when I was growing up, I was kind of in a mixture of stuff. So I was listening to soul and I was listening to jazz, but I was also listening to a lot of dance music.
Okay, interesting.
So yeah, I was total like noughties dance floor chick. So, and then I started kind of listening to Bjork and Imogen Heap and Kate Bush and artists like that as well. So yeah, just I guess trying to blend things that I enjoy and things that sound good to my ear, you know. But
you said there, like, you kind of mix different sounds now, but you can also mix different all sorts, like a lot of artists nowadays you see like a lot of crossovers and stuff. So if you were to kind of mix with like one genre with what you're doing right now, what would it be? Like, what do you think now would be kind of a bit mad but actually would work?
Well, I guess I'm kind of hoping to mix the jazz stuff into the kind of electronic stuff.
Yeah, that would be yeah.
That's the kind of long-term aspiration, I think.
That would be very cool.
Yeah, it would be cool because I love both. So it'd be nice to be able to marry them a little bit more.
But you notice now, I find sometimes you go, well, it kind of started abroad, but it has come into Ireland now. When you go into like late bars or clubs, they've started bringing in like instruments now.
Yeah.
So the DJ's there going, and then
like
there's like
a hybrid thing. Yeah.
And it's class. Like, I think the sound is so good.
Yeah. It's nice as well to have like a live element. It just does bring something extra to when you see like a really good electronic artist and they're there and they're using their trigger pads and they're using their little toys and bits and pieces, you know. And then you've got like a live drummer, a live bass player, a guitar player playing along. It makes it really exciting to watch. And there's that kind of like body language and conversation that happens between other people being on the stage as well. Because I've done a few like gigs where it's just been me like and Ableton and like triggering sounds and stuff, and it can be really lonely, like, you know, as someone who's grown up in bands, it's such a different thing to do, to just be on stage by yourself, like, you know, with like all these pieces of technology trying to create a vibe. It's harder to do, and I'm very much at the beginning of that. Like, I mean, you see some fantastic people, but like I'm very much at a very basic level at the moment. So it would be really cool to like open it up into a band kind of thing where you've got like some electronic stuff going on and then other players coming in as well.
Well, I look forward to hearing this because I've no doubt it's going to happen.
Yeah.
What's the plan for the next couple of months?
So I have a few more tracks there that are finished that I'll put out in the next few months. And I've been kind of debating, will I do an album or will I do like a couple of EPs? But there is another release scheduled. I need to kind of pick the date, but the track is finished and ready.
Brilliant.
So that'll be out in the next 2 months. And then beyond that, it's either do I do an EP or do I do an album? So I'll have to decide after that.
I think though nowadays it's kind of changed. Like you see the likes of Dermot Kennedy, who, you know, brought out all these songs and then brought out the album. Kind of, everyone's like, where's this album? And then it came out, and then you've got other artists who are just kind of dropping albums without even telling you. So I think the way music is seen in that sense when it comes to albums and bringing out songs, it's completely changed.
You can make your own rules a bit more
now. It's great, isn't it?
In the past, it was very like this very set format, and even when I was in uni and college over in London, like they taught you a set format, like to a release campaign, etc. And it was quite like, this is how it's done. Whereas even only a few years on now, people are just doing their own thing and what suits them best.
It's great though, isn't it?
It is. It's great. It's a great time. Like, you know, it's in some ways it's a tough time because there's a lot of things going on and it's hard to be seen and be heard. But in another way, it's good because you do have more autonomy over what you're doing. You can guide your own career. You can make money out of your own music if you're clever, you know, so...
It is good. It's an exciting time. Now, Jayne Fraser, where can we find you on social media?
So JAYNE _music on Instagram and on Twitter. And on Spotify as well, it's Jay. The Y is like a yen sign.
Oh, yeah.
It's 2 lines through. Jayne. And my track is Undefined.
Lovely stuff. And tell us about the song you're going to perform. Is it Undefined?
It's this track, Undefined.
Amazing.
So yeah, it went out last month, and only a couple of weeks ago, to be honest. Maybe like 2-3 weeks ago it went out. So yeah.
Well, I can't wait to hear it.
All right.
Thanks, Jayne.
Thank you.
Out of touch, I saw morning in your dawn. There was beauty in your lack. Out of time, keep on running till you're gone. I am carved in blue, in black, in these lives we collide. We've become a shape, undefined. In the valley of every line that's drawn, we're forever changed. And I can dream, I can keep on dreaming on, but it's never gonna be the same. In these lives we've become engraved. We collide, gone our separate ways. In your eyes, we are out of shape. We collide, gone our separate ways. Undefined. This love will only ever break your heart. Undefined, undefined. Only ever break your heart. No, I don't wanna fall in love. No, I don't wanna fall in love with you.
For these stories and so much more, head over to limerickpost.ie/show. I'm Meghann Scully. This is the Limerick Post Show, keeping Limerick posted.